Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Tuesday, February 16th, 2010. Well, folks, another update on Wall Street following a very choppy but upward move last week. We talked about last week being an up move. We nailed it. This week, again, we're saying overall you will see another choppy week with a slight upside bias. That's exactly what started out this week on this Tuesday, the first trading day of this week. Monday was a holiday, we all know that, for President's Day, and this market's gotten off to a solid move up on extremely, and I repeat, extremely light volume. The volume is negligible to be exact today as the market's gapped up and have slowly gone sideways to higher as the volume has just gotten lighter. Just look at Friday's volume here on the chart and compare it to today's. You can see right there how light it is. And again, what that's telling me is that there's not a lot of participation now by institutions as opposed to last week where we did see participation, going all the way back to 2 Fridays ago, not last Friday, but the Friday before, when we had that big bottoming tail on the daily. And here's your daily chart. This bottoming tail on the 5th of February was really when it occurred. That was huge volume, biggest volume since the March 2009 lows were put in. That was institutional buying pushing up the market. But now you're not seeing that, and that's beginning to give us a little bit of a heads up that there may be something on the horizon later this week or next week that we need to be aware of. And so again, folks, those of you that are part of the research center, obviously I will give you guys all the swing trades I do, whether they're shorts, whether they're longs, anything I do, I will be giving to you. And obviously, those in the chat room will get the intraday trades as well as the swing trades, all encompassing. Now, folks, talking a little bit about the market today. Over the weekend, we saw some continuation on the worries of Greece. That was really the big thing last week. But this week, again, folks, the dollar's starting to pull back. In fact, the dollar's getting smacked down today substantially. Those of you in the research center know that I've been bearish on the dollar since it put in a topping tail on February 5th as well. Then I went officially bearish on the dollar. Today, the dollar is getting hammered to the downside. Look at this fall today, folks. And that's really why the markets are up and why oil and gold are screaming today. Oil and gold are going up, therefore you know when commodities go up, the dollar obviously is down, and therefore when commodities go up, stocks will be higher as well. You can take a look at all stocks out there. ExxonMobil having a great day, up 91 cents on the day. You can take a look at U.S. Steel. What a move on this U.S. Steel, up $3. Again, we were calling it as a buy when it was down at $42 to $43 just about a week or so ago. Unbelievable move here on U.S. Steel. We can talk about some other things as well. How about Qualcomm? Qualcomm's an interesting one because this is actually flat on the day. I gave a buy signal at $37 last week, I believe it was, and it ran all the way up from 37 to about 39 and change, and then I called it as a possible sell. I said, guys, be careful. This has had its run now, a 2-day run from last week off that low pivot point that we isolated here, right here at 37, nailed the low. And again, as of the Friday's close, that's when you essentially wanted to move out of it. That's what we did and moved out of it. And today, again, you can see really with the market being up strong, this is not exactly having any repercussions to the upside. In fact, it's kind of weaker on the day. Now, folks, a couple other things. Number one, tomorrow the hidden gems will be published for February. Be ready. I've got the play all figured out, all analyzed, just putting the final touches on the video. And again, that will be out tomorrow, probably in the first hour of trading at some point, 10 to 11 o'clock, I'm guessing tomorrow. It will be released to the public subscribers of InTheMoneyStocks.com Research Center. All right, so again, you want to join up for that Research Center Hot Hidden Gems play for tomorrow, along with the hot charts and alerts, daily market reports, Pro Trader watch list. We added a new stock to the Pro Trader watch list today already. No sooner did we add it, it started to run the opposite way in our direction that we were calling for it to go. A beautiful play off the 200 moving average on the daily, and again, a no-brainer in many ways. Taking a look at oil today, folks, let's take a look at the USO. The USO having a huge day today. Now, the key is on the USO to really watch to see where the level is going to be, where you're going to want to look to start to take some profits off the table or start to look for a possible short play on oil. It is coming up, so be aware of that, folks. As the dollar comes down, it's pushing oil up, but there is a point you have to be aware of where we're going to start to inch in the short opportunities. In addition, there are some ETFs that as we move up into certain levels, there will be some shorts called out or longs on those ETFs, but the ETFs happen to be short on the market. So be aware of that, folks. I want to go back now and touch on the GLD quickly, and then we're going to go back to the SPY and focus in on the intraday levels. Now, the GLD today up $2.53. What a move, folks. Any way you cut it. Interesting to note here on the daily chart of this that you're actually right into a little bit of a pivot high, although you do have gap fill and gap window up here as well that have to be kind of monitored. But nonetheless, you can see how the resistance levels on the GLD are now starting to inch into play. And the question is, well, where's the entry for the best entry for the shorting opportunity on gold for a pullback? And again, that will be released to our premium members of the Research Center and the intraday stock chat. Let's go back to the SPY and focus on that, folks. Again, there's your daily chart. I'm not going to even touch on that because that's for premium members of the Research Center to really get the outlying look at the markets in the coming days, as opposed to really just focusing on the intraday for you guys right now. But as you can see, Friday was a very bullish signal. Any way you cut it, Friday was bullish. And you might say, well, why was Friday bullish? Well, because you gapped down so much, and then you were able to fight back, and ultimately close pretty much at the highs of the day, flat on the day. That's a very bullish signal when you can have a big drop in the markets and come all the way back and close basically flat. Sure enough, that's paying off today as the market is surging again. Dow is up about 120 or so. Let's get you an exact quote. 115 on the Dow. NASDAQ up 21. S&P 500 up about 14 on the day. Now, again, folks, you can see you're just kind of going sideways here. The best move came on the gap up, a little bit of a pullback, and then we raced higher into this key 109.10 level. Happened to be gap fill. Then we pulled back, broke through the gap fill here, and went higher. On the 60-minute chart, I can really show it to you better. Just take a look. Here's your gap window, right there, gap window. You hit it right there, pulled back, and then finally got through it. Now you're probably going to look for the gap fill eventually over the course of the week for this market to continue to move up into. At least that's what it's looking like right now, that we will continue to see some upside movement in the markets into those levels. So be aware of that. Be ready for that, as again, it will yield some very good swing trades in the coming days, in my estimation, on stocks, on ETFs, short, long, you name it. There's been tons already this year, and there will be tons more this year as the choppiness continues out there. Going back to the intraday 10-minute, again, if you move up, you're going to look for the 109.50 to 109.60 level of resistance. If you pull back, you do have good support right here at 109.10 to 109, and then a break of that would probably yield a minor support at 108.90, and then a possibility of fall to the lows of the day right here at 108.40, and then obviously coming all the way down to gap fill, this area down here at 107.90. But again, at this point, you have to assume that based on the light volume, and we haven't even done 100 million today, folks, and it's a 2:15 already Eastern time, you have to assume that the volume is going to dictate that this market will end decently positive. It may come down a little bit, it may go up a little bit, but in general, you're expecting a close somewhere in this range where we currently are sitting today. All right, again, just looking at the 60-minute, this really lays out the beautiful levels. Here's your Great Wall of China up here, your lower pivot levels. This sloping low from this low to this low all the way through is a very important level to watch in this market over the coming week or so as well, in case we do fall down into that. That would be support. If it's broken, then you're probably heading back towards the lows at 104.50. A lot of interesting stuff going on, folks. Again, you want to keep your eyes on a couple of the key stocks out there. Baidu is flat to positive today. Not a big mover there. You're still looking for that 500 level. Goldman Sachs is having a solid day today, up $2.82. The financials have been weak of late, but it does look like they may be taking a little charge here and starting to lead the market now that the commodities have run their course, in my estimation. So watch for that, guys. Very, very interesting and very, very noteworthy here on Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan is also taking a big, big move. All right, that's all for today, folks. Stay tuned. Join the Research Center so you can watch the video tonight. 40 minutes of in-depth analysis on all time frames, on different charts, on the markets, on oil, on the dollar, on gold, you name it, it's covered. In addition, watch that Pro Trader watch list. Watch that Hot Charts and Alerts, all included in the Research Center for when we enter swing trades, shorts, longs, whatever it may be. Have a wonderful evening, folks. I'll talk to you tomorrow.